Call this meeting to order. Let us pray. Dear Lord, we just thank you for this time once again that we have to come before the city and do the business to keep our city one of the best cities in the state of Georgia. Lord, I just pray that you look over this city in the next following months and years, continue it to go in the right direction. Lord, just pray for all the council members here tonight, everyone here tonight, and all the citizens of Monroe. I ask this in your name. Amen. Let the record reflect all council members are present, and with that, I need approval of the agenda.
So moved.
A motion by Mr. Richardson.
Second.
Second by Ms. Crawford. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Now we need approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bradley.
Second.
Second by Mr. Richardson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. We have a public presentation tonight, and I'll turn that over to Logan.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to come around the front here. First off tonight, we want to recognize our outgoing mayor, Greg Thompson. Thank you for everything you've done for the city of Monroe over the last 12 years. We've got this plaque here for loyal and dedicated service as mayor of the city of Monroe from January 2006 to December 2017. It's a long time to be mayor. It's certainly not the same city that you started with, and we appreciate your contributions very much. Also have something from Keith Glass here he wanted to present.
You want me to do both of them? Okay. I would. I got some fire folks and PD folks here. If y'all would come forward. Mr. Mayor, we would ask that you and Mr. Richardson join us around here. We want to make a small token of our appreciation to both of you. One, Mr. Richardson for his service on the council and as the Public Safety Committee Chair. And for you as our mayor, we've accomplished a lot of things in public safety, and a lot of it goes back to both your leadership. Everything from being a state certified police department, maintaining that certification under you, being 2 years ahead of a lot of things that happened in Ferguson with body-worn cameras. Fire department, we build and should have a burn by the first of the year in the training facility that come about under y'all's leadership. Vehicles, the turnout gear, all new fire helmets and boots for the guys during your administration. And those are just some of the things, not all of them. But Bill, and if y'all go in and help Bill.
Good gosh, my mind.
If y'all would go ahead and pull it up so they can look at them.
Oh, wow.
These have become kind of a symbol of, it's a symbol of Monroe, of our country and public safety. On the back, each has on the bottom, so we'll make sure we get y'all the right one. But again, that little plaque on the back, just again, to y'all, to tell you thank you. Where's Logan go?
I'm right here.
You gonna do this?
I am. I was going to follow up with that.
So, on behalf of the Monroe Police and Fire Department, we want to say thank you so much for the service you provided to our city, and to the public safety department. Certainly appreciate your support and dedication to public safety while you've served. So thank you so very much. Thank you.
That also dovetails nicely into this last plaque here for Mr. Jimmy Richardson for his loyal and dedicated service to the City of Monroe Council from January 2006 through December 2017, the last of which we heard as chair of the Public Safety Committee. A lot's been done, and it's a very different city through your efforts. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate it.
I'd just like to thank the citizens of Monroe for giving me the opportunity to serve past 12 years. It's been an honor. It's been a privilege, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. We got the best department heads in the world. We got the best employees. Monroe's got a lot going on, and looking forward to see what the future looks like. Got a lot of good stuff coming, and I'm just going to still be part of it because I'm still going to live here and enjoy this great community. So I appreciate what every one of you do every day on a daily basis, and I just want to say I thank you. Appreciate it.
I just kind of want to echo what Jimmy said. It's been a pleasure. It's been a privilege to get to know a lot of folks, a lot of friends. It's been a pleasure serving the city, watching it grow. And I know one thing's for sure, as Jimmy said, we do have some of the best department heads in the state of Georgia. Glad to hire on Logan before we left. And one thing I do know, that we're leaving this city better off than we found it. Certainly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Get on the right side.
We have one more item of recognition tonight. That's our hometown teams volunteers from the Monroe Museum. I want to turn that over to Sadie Krawczyk for presentation.
Thank you very much. Wanted to recognize tonight, we had many volunteers that made this traveling Smithsonian exhibit quite a success here in Monroe, and we have a representative of those volunteers tonight. I'd like to invite them to come forward, Stephen and Susan Brown and Janice and Randall Rowe, so we could all thank them for their many, many volunteer hours and efforts of remembering and reminding this community of their history and drawing in a whole nother generation to recognize it and enjoy it. So thank you very much for your time and service. You guys stand, and that's that for you.
Okay, we'll move into our public forum. We have one person signed up for public comment, Mr. Shane Short.
Mayor, Council, I just wanted to come tonight to make just a quick comment, a few comments. Yesterday at our Development Authority, we had the privilege of recognizing the mayor for his service on the Development Authority, and we gave him a certificate and are placing a brick in his honor at the new Veterans Memorial. But I wanted to come publicly tonight to say thank you very much for your service, not only to the city of Monroe, but to entire Walton County through the Development Authority, and we appreciate all that you've done for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Mayor.
Shane. Thank you very much. Now we'll move into our public hearing. We have a rezone annexation on Vine Street. Patrick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is petition number 17-00459. The applicant Expo Realty LLC requests a rezone and annexation for property located at Vine Street, known as parcel C 1350005, 004, and 0005A, and also 1350005B. The property has 3,295 feet of road frontage on Vine Street, and that seems like a lot. I'll have to double check that. Property is presently zoned A2, requested zoning classification is R1A City. The requested zoning will permit a use that is suitable in view of the use and development of adjacent and nearby property. The change of zoning will not adversely affect the existing and adjacent property. Subject property does have restricted economic use as currently zoned. The change of zoning will not cause an excessive or burdensome use of existing streets, transportation facilities, utilities, or schools. Property is in the county, therefore a future land use plan does not apply. The recommendation of the staff is approved with the recommended conditions that are listed at the bottom of the application there. Just read through those real quick, just in case we missed anything. But that they would have a minimum square footage of 1,700 square feet per one-story buildings, minimum square footage of 2,000 feet per two-story, that the neighborhood include a playground, a junior Olympic-sized pool with cabana and restrooms, that they would work toward a minimum lot size of 8,500 square feet, that brick and stone accents on the front of the homes, with the balance of the home to be fiber cement siding. That's exclusive of gables and soffits. 8-foot on-center evergreen, a minimum of 20 gallons with a berm near the rear-facing lots on Vine Street, a 40-foot non-buildable bermed buffer along Vine Street, all grass areas to be sodded, and 2 lot trees of a 2-inch caliper deciduous type trees installed or preserved on the lot. And with that, I'll take any questions that you might have. And the applicant is here as well to answer questions if you like.
Patrick, the words "work toward" 8,500 square feet, I think we need to be more definitive on that.
I understand. I just basically copied what we went with in the last rezone application, and that was the wording that was in the minutes. So I just copied them directly out of the minutes. One thing I would like to mention too, on that 8,500 square feet, that's 1,000 square feet larger than is required in R1A zoning, which is fine. If that's a standard we want to go with moving forward, then I think we'll need to talk about an amendment to the ordinance so that we don't have to have it as a condition every time we rezone to this zoning classification. So that's a conversation for another time, but it would be a good one to have. That way, if that's the direction we want to move. But either way, if you want to change it to require 8,500 square foot minimum, that'll be up to you all to modify the recommendation and make a motion.
And I believe this is probably going to be this will be the largest subdivision in the city limits of Monroe, correct?
I would agree.
By quite
At
a number of homes.
At this time, yeah.
Right, at this time, right,
Yes.
okay.
Any more questions for Patrick? Okay.
I have one for somebody.
Well, property
he's
owner
gonna
will
come
be,
up, okay.
Thank you. Give the property owner a chance to come up and speak, or representative.
Good evening. I'm Jenny Carter. I'm with the law firm of Andrea P. Gray, LLC, and I'm here representing Expo Realty. And Mr. Joe Dixon with Expo Realty is here as well and can answer questions as well. If I just want to take a few minutes, I do have 2 things I'd like to hand out. The first, because I am an attorney, is our statement of constitutional objections in the event the requested zoning is not granted. And the second item is a list of proposed conditions. That's actually very similar to the one that Mr. Kelly just went over. We do have a request that they be modified a bit, so I just wanted to go over our request for just a minute.
You can give those to me. I'll pass them out.
Thank you. Okay, and this, this total property is approximately 100 acres. We're only asking, it's about 75 that's being requested to be rezoned or annexed into the city. The balance is already in the city, and it is already zoned R1A. So there's about 25 acres of this property that is currently already zoned R1A in the city, and that is why we are requesting that R1A zoning. One of the things that we are asking, though, is the R1A zoning actually allows up to 5 units per acre. And so the proposed site plan shows a density of 2.6 units per acre. And so that is part of our conditions, and we also used that language, work toward 8,500 square feet, because that was what was in the minutes that were approved for the Good Hope Road rezoning. Basically, we are in agreement with all of the staff conditions with 2 exceptions. Mr. Kelly did point out there is quite a bit of frontage there along Vine Street. Because of the commercial nature of the area approaching the subdivision, we would like to request not to have to do the berm with the planted buffer. We'd like to preferably leave the natural buffer that is there, to leave that to the greatest extent practical and not have to build up the berm in that location. And just go with the natural vegetation, if y'all would be willing to make that change. We are agreeable to the playground and the junior Olympic size pool with the cabana. In fact, the site plan has already been revised to reflect that. It also shows the lighted mail kiosks. There are 2 entrances on Vine Street proposed for this development. It will be served by public water and sewer. And, as the staff recommended, we'd like to see the brick and stone accents on the front with the balance, except for the soffit, to be either at a minimum of the fiber cement siding. And we'd be happy to answer any questions you have about this development, and would like to reserve the balance of our time for any rebuttal if necessary. Are there questions?
I have a question about the junior Olympic size pool, the playground lot, basically the amenities package, if you will, for the neighborhood. Something we talked about with the last development was that size pool for that size development. Is there any opportunity for either 2, call it rec areas in the neighborhood, since it's almost double the other development, or maybe a full Olympic size pool, clubhouse, something? It just seems like that's a lot of houses for one little pool.
Well, what we're proposing at this time is the one recreation area. I don't know, Mr. Dixon, if there's anything you'd like to add to address that question.
First of all, thanks for having me. I guess, I'd rather just do one clubhouse, one facility to take care of it, maintain. As far as the cabana, maybe we could make it a little larger and add a weight room and stuff like that, or a little meeting area or something like that for that size of area.
Right.
I'll be willing to do that. And
What about the size of the pool?
The junior size Olympic pool is a standard size. It's a huge pool, and for a junior size, most people just do a regular pool. This is a junior size Olympic pool. This is what.
Do you know the dimensions off the top of your head?
I don't know, but I wish I could have got those.
It would be suitable if the community wanted to do a swim team. That would kind of be your
Yes.
standard, like, swim team size pool
Yep.
would be the junior Olympic. The Olympic is when those are the long course pools that, like at Georgia Tech. I don't know if you've seen the Olympic size pools there. The junior Olympic is typically what would be, you'd see for like a swim team that would use that.
I would be willing to do on the end of the junior size Olympic pool, a little kiddie pool,
Right.
a round area for the kids to play in.
Maybe a
Something
splash
like-
pad or something?
Yeah, something like that, yeah, something like that.
I'm just thinking about Providence
Yeah.
Club, and you probably are too. They've got 300 homes.
Mhm.
And certainly that pool is more of an L shape, and unfortunately,
seen
it
that.
doesn't allow for a swim
Yeah,
team, but, and that would be a real draw, I think. But,
I think the kiddie pool on the side, let them have that, and then the splash area, this round area, the size of this area, and they play in it, the kids. I've done that before.
Right.
Also, so I'd be willing to do that. It'd be wonderful, I think.
Because if you get into an Olympic size pool, that is incredibly, that's a
It's an Olympic-sized
50-meter pool. I mean, that is.
And that one on Highland, not Olympic size pool either.
Sir?
what the subdivision she's talking about is not an Olympic-sized pool.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying, but
It's L-shaped.
but it is a larger pool
Okay.
to accommodate the numbers,
Mhm.
you know. But I think, I think the Junior Olympic is great.
It's good, and maybe a little splash area for the
Right.
kids right there to play.
Well, I think more to my point, and I might have stated it wrong, but just a bigger amenities package.
Yeah.
So it
Right.
doesn't have to necessarily be just the pool, but, you know, for double the amount of people, a bigger cabana, more grills.
Definitely do a
That's
bigger cabana, we
yeah.
do that for sure.
Just kind of proportionate to what we did in
Yeah.
the first development would be awesome, if we could
Yeah,
work
and
something like
add
that in.
like a workout area and maybe
Yeah.
a meeting area also right there.
Maybe
with-
tennis
with-
courts,
Yeah,
you know?
so,
And as far as that buffer,
on
Now-
Long Vine Street.
yeah.
We just want to leave all the trees along Vine Street, not disturb any of that stuff.
I know there's a lot of
For
pines
two reasons.
in one section,
Yes.
but isn't there a good bit of frontage that has nothing
I
but
don't- I think-
sagebrush?
I think it's all, but it's bigger trees, you know, so many, it's better than you put a little 3-inch tree there and you gotta wait for it to die. This is something it's already established, you know, for vegetation. Something we put a 40-foot buffer on there, undisturbed buffer like that, so it
Right.
wouldn't be cleared or anything like that. You know, the creek's down below it too, and you got water runoff and everything like that, so, I think the vegetation, already the buffer that's there would be wonderful. So instead of tearing it down, putting dirt up there, and then you can just see all through there. Just opens the land up, just kind of hides it right there, so.
So you don't anticipate any of, my iPad died. You don't anticipate any of these backyards be open? You don't think they will be open to the street from the way?
I would put we'd put a buffer, like a undisturbed buffer right there. We're gonna be doing a 10-foot anyway, and with no access, and just make the 40-foot buffer. Let's make that a condition, or we'll put it on the plans, if you're okay with that.
Can you address Ms. Malcolm's question earlier about the 8,500 square feet? The work towards, I mean, can you do a minimum 8,500 square feet?
Probably so, yes, sir.
And I agree that, I think we'd agree that a definite condition is
Right.
it's easier for,
Everybody.
I think, everybody. I think Patrick and I, we both just kind of looked at that language that was in the minutes for the previous rezone.
So if I can't, that doesn't fit, so maybe it's a
Here, you need
different
this.
one. Wait a minute.
I
Now
hope y'all
it
get ready
is.
to come up with some concessions to try to help this man build his, subdivision instead of seem like y'all, it almost seems like y'all putting him in a position that you're trying to tie his hand, to make him act like, it seems like it ain't a project that y'all want done. It
No,
seems
we
like-
just want to make sure it's done right. I mean, you know, he's asking for something, we're asking for something. We can come in the middle and agree. We're not saying we don't want
No.
to build it. By all means, we want it in the city.
I understand, that sounds good, but it don't look like it.
Well,
Just from
Well,
look-
that's the way negotiations go, Norman. And I don't want to be another Gwinnett County.
Well,
And
I
that's
want-
my objective
I would
here.
love to see Monroe grow.
I want to see Monroe grow, but I want to see it grow. And I know that Mr. Dixon has our best interest at heart, and he's been before other councils and commissions before, and he's had his hand held, I'm sure. And, everybody has their own vision as to what we want. And, from a real estate side, I think that, we will work with him within reason. He's got to make money too. But at the same time, we have to protect our community and set a standard. And I think that's what we're about tonight. And we're about last month on his first development.
I hear what you're saying, but it just it's some of the smaller stuff y'all saying, like you want him to build an Olympic-sized pool. We don't have an Olympic-sized pool in the whole Walton County.
And we need one.
So you want him to put the burden on his back?
No,
That's what
we
need?
agreed that a junior Olympic would be fine, but I think Ross said he just wanted a larger play area because you've got over double the number of homes. in this development versus the one on 83.
Well, it'd be good if Monroe participated in trying to do some of the stuff that they want to see done.
Well,
Cause I ain't seen you do nothing, Lee, but complain about everything he actually got. I mean, everything, you the only one make it all the conversation, to be honest. You want this, you want that. Maybe you should actually develop the subdivision, and you can do it like you wanna do it.
well, I care about this city, and I care about setting standards for the future. And that is my objective. And it's not, if it's not your objective, then we differ. But it will be what the majority rules.
Any other questions?
Mr. Dixon, you referred to the buffer, the natural buffer, and you used a footage, and I just didn't catch what you said.
You know, you got the probably 45-foot buffer along Vine Street, use a, like a undisturbed buffer, is what, not to get in there and grade or anything like that, and tear the trees down and leave the natural vegetation there.
So one thing I heard, and I just wanted to clarify, different from the last rezone we did, you're asking for the just accents
Yes, ma'am.
with the stone and
Something like what the
brick.
retreat is across town right there. Use the accents, use more of the shake and the hardy plank for her view, I guess.
Right.
So,
Well, would you be willing to go to 2,200 square feet on your two-story?
not on that side, not there on Vine Street. I mean, I came up on the one-story for sure, and, you know, compromising for the two-story to be at 2,000. So I'd really like to stay there and do the buffer, do make the junior size limit pool a little bigger, maybe a splash pad for the kids right there. So I would agree to that for sure, so.
And you're willing to do the sodded yards, front and
Yes, ma'am.
back?
Yes, ma'am.
And then the trees
Yes, ma'am.
in each yard?
Yes, ma'am.
Either installed or preserved, correct? That if
Right,
there's two on
yes.
site, that those,
Yes, ma'am.
those would count, yes.
Any other questions? Okay, I'll reserve, y'all have a little
Thank you.
time if somebody wants to, if you want to come
Thank
back
you.
up. We're still in the rezone process in the public hearing, so if anyone else would like to come speak in favor of this rezone. Okay, if anyone would like to speak against this rezone. Okay, we'll close this part of the public hearing and bring it before the council for a motion.
I'll make a motion, Mayor,
What's your motion?
that we
Rezone?
approve this.
Approve the rezone, okay. We have a
Second.
motion by Mr. Richardson, second by Mr. Garrett. Any discussion by the council?
Yeah, I would just
Just
like.
wanna
I have a
read the
question. Are
conditions.
the conditions stipulated?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I would like to add to that or amend that motion to include the proposed zoning conditions as presented by the applicant this evening, changing the words "work toward" on the minimum lot size, just delete those two words for the minimum lot size of 8,500 square feet, and adding a condition that there be a 45-foot buffer on Vine Street.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second, and we have conditions. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That rezone passes. Now we will discuss the annexation on Vine Street. Would anyone, we'll open it up to the audience out here. Would anyone like to speak in favor of the annexation on Vine Street? Okay, would anyone like to speak against the annexation on Vine Street? Okay, hearing none, I'll close this part of the public comments and bring it toward the council for a motion.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion to annex into the city.
Yes,
Second. Have a motion by Mr. Richardson, second by Mr. Bradley. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Move under new business. We have an approval of the Chamber of Commerce contract. Ms. Terry?
Just give y'all a quick update. I appreciate your past support of the Chamber of Commerce, and we appreciate Mayor Thompson serves on our Chamber Board of Directors, and we appreciate him and the other council members who attend our ribbon cuttings and events we hold in Monroe. We've held 3 buy local, 10 on the 10th events in Monroe, and several Coffee and Connection events in Monroe this year. And of course, our luncheons are always held here in Monroe, and the mayor did the State of the City address back just a few months ago for the chamber membership. But we did complete our Walton County and Cities map, and believe it or not, we still have several people coming in asking for a printed map, even though everybody uses GPS, it seems like these days. But they're in your packets that I gave you before the meeting started. Youth Leadership Walton, just a few of our community programs I'll talk about. Youth Leadership Walton, we have 38 in the junior program, 43 in the senior program, and about a third of those students are Monroe students from the different schools in Monroe. And Adult Leadership, we have many city graduates. We appreciate y'all's continued support of your employees going through that program. Reality Check with 8th graders, we just have Carver Middle School left for this school year, and it's going to be in February, so if any of you would like to volunteer, we'd love to have you come and volunteer. I know some of y'all have volunteered before, and it's a great opportunity to show the kids, 8th graders, what the game of life, what life is all about. So we'd love to have you come and volunteer if you'd like to. Our Walton Proud initiative, we continue to promote the city events on our tent cards that we put out all around the different restaurants and stores and medical centers around the county. So we help promote the city events on that. And tourism promotions, we did reprint the Antiques Capital of Georgia rack cards earlier this year and got them out to all the state welcome centers. And we do promote the city events through our social media and e-news efforts. We have 252 members in Monroe, which makes up a little over 50% of our chamber membership. And we would just ask for your continued support of our contract, and which is also in your packet. I think y'all received it electronically also. Anybody have any questions?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And with that, we'll entertain a motion to continue on with the Chamber of Commerce for another year.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Richardson,
Second.
second by Ms. Malcolm. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Item number 2 is the appointments. We have 3 appointments for the Historic Preservation Commission. And we have a pool of Kelton Barnes, Mark Hamans, Krista Carroll, and Faye Brassey. We'll entertain a motion.
Take these individually
yeah.
here to take the
James
unexpired
Woodall for
terms.
the unexpired term. Need a motion to replace him.
I make a motion that we appoint Mark Hamans.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Little.
Second.
Second by Ms. Malcolm. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Now we need to entertain a motion to replace John Lucas.
I make a motion that we appoint Faye Brassey.
Have a motion by Mr. Little,
Second.
second by Mr. Bradley. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. And the last one is Eric Edkin.
Make a motion that we appoint Krista Carroll.
Motion by Mr. Little,
Second.
second by Mr. Adcock. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That motion passes. Item 3, we have 2 appointments for the Planning Commission. And the pool list is Russ Bradley, David Butler, and Randy Camp. And the first motion will be replacing Mr. Michael Reese.
And when does his tenure expire?
It's already really expired. It expired on September the 1st of this year.
Okay. I'll offer the motion to appoint Randy Camp.
We have a motion by Mrs. Malcolm,
Second.
second by Mr. Bradley. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any against? That motion passes. And the second one is replacing John Howard, who resigned in August.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to appoint David Butler.
Have a motion by Mr. Bradley,
Second.
second by Mr. Adcock. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Item number 4, we have an appointment to the library board. We have one person in the pool and replacing Sandra Sherling, who resigned in July the 1st. No, excuse me, October, and her tenure ends July the 1st, 2018. Peggy Lick is the applicant.
Motion to appoint Ms. Lick.
Have a motion by Ms. Malcolm.
Second.
Second by
Light.
Mr. Bradley. Is it Light or Lick?
I think it's light.
Light, I'm sorry, I apologize. We have a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Item number 5 is the appointment for 3 Downtown Development Authority, and the pool is
One reappointment.
Wesley Sisk on a reappointment, Andrea Gray and Meredith Malcolm. We'll take Wesley Sisk first.
Mayor, if I can just interject, one issue here is that, just to be clear, these appointments in the DDA, we also have our CVB, or Convention and Visitors Bureau, and it serves essentially as a concurrent board, but they are separate boards. So we would ask if you're making appointments to DDA, that you also make a concurrent motion to appoint that member to the CVB as well.
Can that be in the same motion?
It can be.
Okay. So we will need a motion for Wesley Sisk.
I'll offer the motion to appoint Wesley Sisk to the Downtown Development Authority and the CVB Board.
Have a motion by Ms. Malcolm,
Second.
second by Mr. Bradley, Larry Bradley. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes. The second one is replacing George Baker. The pool is Andrea Gray and Meredith Malcolm. His term ends December, is that right?
December 31st, correct.
Well,
So we'll be replacing him. Meredith Malcolm, or excuse me, Andrea Gray will be taking that position.
okay. So we need a motion for Andrea Gray to replace George Baker III.
I'll offer that motion and include the CVB Board
Okay.
as well. And that term expires on 18.
That expires at the end of this year.
Oh,
December 31st.
December
20
30.
So it's a reappointment
Yeah,
going forward
And then a
for
reappointment.
2018.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
Okay.
For a reappointment after the month, this month.
Well, okay. All right, we have a motion by Ms. Malcolm,
Second.
second by Larry Bradley. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes. And the third one we'll be replacing Benita Walker, and her term expires December 31st, 2018, and Meredith Malcolm is the only one left in the pool.
I'll offer the motion to appoint Meredith Malcolm to that position on the DDA board and the CVB, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Adcock.
Second.
Second by Ross Bradley. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Item number 6 is the appointment to the Walton County Board of Health, and that is Ms. Edith Weaver would like to continue to serve. Her term is up at the end of this year, so she'll be going forward for next year.
I move that Ms. Weaver be reappointed.
Motion by Larry Bradley,
Second.
second by Jimmy Richardson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? That passes. Item number 7 is the addendum to the schedule of fees, the Code Department.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This just needs a motion to approve or deny this addition to our schedule of fees for a 10% fee on permit renewals.
Okay, does anybody have any questions of Patrick? Okay, we need a motion.
Motion to approve the schedule fees is presented.
Motion by Mr. Little,
Second.
second by Ross Bradley. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Item number 8 is the approval of the 2000 budget resolution.
Thank you, Mayor. You have before you a resolution to approve the FY 2018 budget. This resolution, I'll just read the preamble. A resolution adopting the 2018 budget for the City of Monroe, Georgia, appropriating amounts as shown in each budget as expenditures, adopting the revenue projections, and prohibiting expenditures to exceed appropriations.
Okay, we went over it.
We went over it
Pretty extensively.
pretty extensively. It's balanced budget, citywide budget of $57,386,876.
Move to approve the 2018 budget, Mayor.
Have a motion by Mr. Adcock,
Second.
second by Ms. Malcolm. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Item number 9 is a resolution for GMA and GERMA membership.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a resolution before you for the firefighters' cancer insurance. We were joining the GMA GERMA insurance pool for this coverage, and because of that, we need this resolution passed.
Make a motion to approve that, GMA GERMA membership.
Motion by Ross Bradley,
Second.
second by Mr. Little. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Item number 10 is a resolution of the remnant portion of Hammond Park abandonment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We discussed this last week. This is a small sliver on the property adjacent to, well, it is Hammond Park. There's a current existing structure dating back to the 1970s. The seller of that property is wishing to acquire the piece of park property that his structure sit on. So this resolution authorizes me to negotiate a fair market price with that potential buyer of the property.
Any questions? Hearing none, need a motion.
I will abstain.
Offer the motion to approve the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Adcock,
Second.
second by Larry Bradley. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Okay, have a unanimous vote with Ms. Malcolm abstaining. Item number 11, first reading of the alcohol beverage ordinance update.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll take that. This will take us just a minute, but this is an ordinance to amend Chapter 6 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Monroe, Georgia regarding alcoholic beverages and for other purposes. The Mayor and Council of the City of Monroe hereby ordain as follows. Article 1, Chapter 6 of the Code of Ordinances is hereby amended by deleting Chapter 6 in its entirety and substituting with the following in lieu thereof from Exhibit A. Chapter 6, Article 1 in general, Section 6.1 definitions. Section 6.2, penalties for violations of chapter. Section 6.3, sale in the city, license a privilege. Section 6.4, sale or possession for sale without a license or beyond boundaries of the premises covered by license. Section 6.5, separate application and separate license for each location of sale. Section 6.6, application forms. Section 6.7, withdrawal of application. Section 6.8, licensing qualifications. Section 6.9, distance requirements. Section 6.10, license fee scale. Section 6.11, fees enumerated. Section 6.12, collection of fee or tax sums due. Section 6.13, transferability of license. Section 6.14, display of license at place of business. Section 6.15, expiration and renewal of license. Section 6.16, automatic license forfeiture for non-use. Section 6.17, suspension or revocation of license. Section 6.18, hearings. Section 6.19, notice. Section 6.20, advertising, location requirements and signs. Section 6.21, audits of licensees. Section 6.22, retailer to purchase from licensed wholesaler only. Section 6.23, retail consumption dealers to store inventory only on premises. Section 6.24, bring your own bottle or brown bagging prohibited. Section 6.25, addition to contents of alcoholic beverages prohibited. Section 626, poured alcohol to be transported by employees. Section 627, licensees to maintain a copy of this chapter, employees to be familiar with terms, licensee responsible for violations. Section 628, employment of underage persons prohibited and exceptions. Section 629, failure to require and properly check identification. Section 630, prohibited actions of licensees and penalties. Section 631, purchase or possession of alcoholic beverages by underage persons. Section 632, regulations as to employees and managers. Section 630, open areas and patio sales. Section 634, no consumption outside of premises. Section 635, specifications of premises. Section 636, Monroe Historic Downtown Entertainment District. Section 637, eligibility for issuance of a temporary special event license. Section 638, solicitation prohibited. Section 639, inspection of licensed establishments by the police department. Section 640, establishment can be closed in cases of emergency. Section 641, types of entertainment, attire, and conduct prohibited. Section 642 through 680 are reserved. Article 2, retail sales of distilled spirits for consumptions on premises. Section 681, locations were permitted. Section 682, investigative and administrative costs. Section 683, advertising in official gazette of the county. Section 684, hours and days of sale. Section 685 through 105 are reserved. Article 3, retail sales of malt beverages and wine for consumption on the premises. Section 6106, type of retail establishment were permitted. Section 6107, investigative and administrative costs. Section 6108, hours and days of sale. Section 6109, corkage services. Section 6110, sales volume ratio for select businesses. Section 6111, amenity license. Sections 112 through 135 are reserved. Article 4 is reserved with Section 136 through 300. Article 5, retail package sales of malt beverages and wine. Section 6301, type of retail establishment were permitted. Section 6302, hours and days of sale. Section 6303, use of tags or labels to indicate prices. Section 6304, quantity sale requirements. Section 6305, investigative and administrative costs. Section 6306, growler sales. Section 6307 to 330 are reserved. Article 6, private clubs. Section 6331, definitions. Section 6332, regulation of sale of alcoholic beverages. Section 6333, certain organizations exempt from food establishment requirements. Section 6334, investigative and administrative costs. Section 6335, hours and days of sale. Section 6336 to 350 are reserved. Article 7, special event venues. Section 6351, preamble and purpose. Section 6352, sale without a license prohibited. Section 6353, registration required. Section 6354, investigative and administrative costs. Section 6355, alcoholic beverages must be purchased from retailer. Section 6356, licensed alcoholic beverage caterer pouring. Section 6357, facility must be approved. Section 6358, timing of sales or consumption. Sections 6359 to 400 are reserved. Article 8, hotel motel in-room service. Section 6401, license. Section 6402, in-room service. Section 6403, operation of lounge, restaurant, or supper club. Section 6404, investigative and administrative costs. Section 6405, general provisions. Section 6406 to 420 are reserved. Article 9, brew pubs, breweries, and distilleries. Section 6421, license required. Section 6422, investigative and administrative costs. Section 6423, brew pubs. Section 6424, breweries. Section 6425, distilleries. Section 6426, microbreweries. Section 6427, micro distilleries. Section 6428 to 600 are reserved. Article 10, wholesalers. Section 6601, special provisions applicable to wholesale purchases. Section 6602, hours and days of sale. Section 6603, audit and penalties. Section 6604 through 700 are reserved. Article 2, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Article 3, this ordinance shall take effect from and after its adoption by the mayor and council of the city of Monroe, Georgia. This constitutes the first reading this 12th day of December, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Paul? All right, And we'll move on to item 12, adopt 2018 council meeting schedule, as we had talked about last week. Need to entertain a motion, if there's no questions.
Move it be approved.
Motion by Larry Bradley. Second. Second by Mr. Little. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Item number 13, change order, CDBG water service.
I'll take that, Mr. Mayor. Rodney and I sat down today to work on some issues going on with the CDBG project. No real problems other than the fact that the contractor is working in a very confined space down there on 5th and 6th Street. We'd originally planned on trying to save a great deal of money by doing the water services ourselves, but having had this meeting with the contractor this morning, we think the most prudent action is to spend a little bit more money, let them lay that water service, and then we go along and do some of the tie-ins behind them. That will definitely help keep the road surface more maintained, so that they're not having to pave or patch, and then we come back and tear it up again. So we know there's no finger pointing later on about whose responsibility that road bed is. It'll be the contractors. There's a variety of good reasons, very small. I don't want to get into all the details, but the total for this change order proposed is $197,112 and 40 cents. I'll turn it over to Rodney. You know, he's the expert in this and has been down there every day. If y'all have any questions.
One of the biggest issues is the compaction on the ditch. You all know how tight the road is to begin with. The sewer line's being laid right at the curb line on the left side going down. Water line will be laid at the curb line on the right-hand side. So there were some concerns with compaction under that curb. I think that was their biggest concern with the whole project, or with us doing it, was the finger pointing that may come later as to whether our ditches were compacted or whatever. So they'll basically lay the water line and get the services out to the right of way, and then we'll take it from there. They can proceed on with their curb and gutter, paving, so forth, while we make the tie-ins and preventing any hold-ups on the job. I think it's 180 days was the timeline for the project, so, and that was kind of another concern they had too, was the city's timeline, getting in, getting out, and still allowing them enough time to go in and pave and put the curb and gutter in.
Is that for both 5th and 6th Street?
Yes.
Overall, we've still saved a significant amount of money going through this negotiation process with the contractor. We just won't be saving quite as much money as originally planned a month or so ago.
Any questions?
Will this affect the 2018 budget?
Really, it's just the utility capital funds that we would draw extra on. But we're hoping on the next CDBG, they're going to increase that funding from $500,000 to $750,000, which would really help offset some of this.
Ms. Redd, does this require a budget amendment?
It wouldn't require a budget amendment, given that it's in the CIP budget.
Any more questions? Okay, we need to entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the change order for the CDBG water service project in the amount of $197,112.40.
Have a motion by Mr. Little,
Second.
second by Mr. Adcock. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. I believe that's the last thing we have on the agenda, so I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Adcock,
Second.
second by Ms. Malcolm. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This meeting's adjourned.